my gosh, you guys. Okay, so last night I was trying to film this video and my phone is always like super full. I have a million pictures, text messages, songs, like you name it. So I'm always kind of living on the edge when it comes to the available space on my phone. And usually what happens is it'll tell me it's full. I'll delete some stuff, or I'll transfer some stuff over and then it'll be okay for a little while and then it'll tell me it's full again and we'll kind of repeat that. So my last phone, this is actually a pretty new phone. My last phone, I used to do that for months. It was crazy. Like every couple days, always deleting stuff, always telling me it was too full. So with this phone, I haven't really had it that long and I went to go film this video last night. So my phone told me that it was pretty full, so I deleted a bunch of stuff and I thought I was good. So halfway through this video, it just stops filming, like isn't filming. I didn't even realize it. So of course, my ridiculous self, I just keep talking. And then I go to look at my video and it's like 2 minutes long. And I'm like, great, awesome. So whatever, I'm used to that. Like sometimes I get distracted and I have to refilm anyway. So it's not that big of a deal, not the end of the world. But I went to start deleting stuff and I couldn't delete anything. So I would like delete a picture and then it would just come back. And I would try to go and delete text messages and it wouldn't let me open the app. I tried to delete videos, wouldn't let me open the app. So it basically continued to do that and then it just completely blitzed and died. So Apple by us isn't even open. And the Sprint store said basically that my only option is to do a complete system reboot. So not only did I not have a phone all day today, which is very hard, which actually shows me that I am like highly addicted to my phone. But I lost everything. Like I lost all my pictures. I lost all my contacts, like everything, guys. I almost feel like I lost like a friend or something. I don't know, like losing all your pictures is, it's emotionally draining. So it's been a day. I've actually been kind of sad about it, which is silly, like first world problems, but it's been a day. So anyhow, this video is definitely a long time coming and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly. I have been thrifting up a storm. Once everything lifted, I was like going through such thrifting withdrawals during quarantine. So once our local stores started being open again and letting us go thrifting, y'all, I went ham. Like I literally went thrifting pretty much every day and I have just been buying up a storm, like literally just going way too overboard. So I am completely surrounded by shenanigans right now and it is the tip of the iceberg as far as my thrift adventures and all the thrift stuff I've been thrifting. But I kind of tried to pick a lot of stuff that's sort of like boho eclectic because mostly that's my style and what I go for. There's a few things I pick up that maybe don't necessarily fit in that genre, but that's most of what I buy because that's mostly how I decorate my own home. So that's pretty much what we got here. And then I'll probably do another haul with other stuff that I have too, because I got a lot of vintage holiday stuff and that doesn't really fit with this category, and like some kitsch and you know. All right, so I'm just gonna pick up random stuff. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. It's probably from like 20 different thrift stores. Just kidding, probably like 5 different thrift stores, but all at different times. Some thrifts I like hit multiple times, you know? Okay. Now that I'm 4 minutes in, I will stop rambling. All right, so the first thing is just this piece of pottery. It's a candle holder. It does look like Batosi, but I would think it's definitely not because it's not labeled at all on the bottom. And usually Batosi will say, or Batosi will say Italy on the bottom. So it does not say that, but it does have the nice mid-century geometric pattern and the nice pretty blue. And it looks like somebody made it. It does not look like somebody bought it at Target. So hopefully that's true. I paid $4 for this So yeah, pretty cute. This will be up on my Etsy shop eventually. Don't know when. I'm really behind on listing, especially since I had no phone all day today, as you guys know. The next thing is this little owl trivet. So I always pick up vintage brass when I see it, and I love owls, so this is sort of like the perfect combination. I actually found a pair of these guys, so I have 2 of them, and he is listed on Etsy right now. I love that it looks like he's got little glasses on, and it's also thoughtful that they put little feet on the bottom so that if you put it on like a wood surface or maybe like your countertops, it doesn't scratch it all up. I really like trivets actually to use for candles and plants, just to rise them up a little bit, instead of just as a regular old trivet. You could use them, you know, as a trivet too, but they have alternate uses if you are like, oh, that's cute, but I don't have any use for it. Maybe you do. I have them all over the house for us just because I like the way it looks with a candle sitting on top of it. Okay. The next thing is this little owl. I really liked him. I love forest animals. You know, owls I think I include sort of in the woodland category. And I liked him because he's not super kitschy, which I do. I love like kitschy, obnoxious owls, but I'm trying to go like a little more muted with my decorating, which isn't really succeeding. Like as I look around, our house is pretty colorful and wild, but I liked him. I just thought he was simple. Cute. I don't know. What's another good word? Muted. He almost looks a little sad, right? He's kind of like forlorn, like he's just like, oh. But yeah, Snowy Owl reminds me of Hedwig, a big Harry Potter nerd over here. So I really liked that. I thought that was cute. I kind of wanted to keep this for me, but I guess I'll list it. I don't know. That's sort of the story with everything I thrift. So I think the reason why I love thrifting so much is, ooh, sorry, that was loud. Is because I just buy things that I like for me. I love vintage. Every single thing in our house is vintage, except for like maybe our mattress, but like literally vintage everything. So when I thrift, I buy things that I love that really like speak to me, so that one, if I get stuck with it and no one else wants it, it's all good because I love it and I enjoy it. Or two, a lot of the time with Etsy, things will maybe sit for a while. Like maybe something will sit for 6 months before it sells. That's okay, because I'll just stage it around my house and enjoy it, and I just change things out all the time and have all different stuff. So sort of as it sells, I'm like, okay, I've had you in my home for a while, I'm sort of ready to let you go, and then always bringing something new and something fresh. But I think it also, because remember, for me, reselling is a pastime, it's a hobby, it's a side hustle. It's a reason for me to kind of go out and thrift and not be like a complete and total hoarder, even though like I definitely am a hoarder or collector. But it's not my main career, is basically what I'm saying. So for me, I think it makes a lot more sense that I'm gonna buy things that speak to me, that it's a lot more genuine as a side hustle, that I'm selling things that I love, that I would want in my home, that I really believe in and that I'm excited about. So when I like go through our listings, I like to get excited about our listings and be like, oh, that's cute. Oh, I like that. I don't want to have a bunch of stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, I think that'll sell, but like it doesn't necessarily speak to me. So our Etsy shop is all over the place because I'm all over the place, but that's sort of my mantra as I sell. I think it's probably not like the most financially secure way to sell. There's probably much better ways, but I just buy things that I love and that speak to me. And a lot of the time, things I might buy for myself to hold on to, I will eventually be willing to let them go and then kind of let them go over time. The next thing I got is this little plate. So we actually drove across the state and visited some family, and so that was really fun. We had like a little thriftcation and thrifted all around by them. So this is one of those decorative plates. It's not something you can eat off of. The brand is not one I've ever heard of before. It says handmade Apollo ceramic Archangelos Rhodos. So I don't know if that's someone's name or if that's actually a company. It's quite long. But yeah, I bought this because I like the colors. I thought it was very cheery and pretty, and I bought it to put a plant on. So I have one that's very similar to this, like similar tones and patterns and like aesthetic, but not the same, that I have a plant on. So I thought the two would sort of coincide and look nice together. But I also might list this and sell it. I don't know. I paid $4 for this, which is actually a lot for me to pay for a plate, but we were at like a little mom and pop church thrift, so I'm always willing to I always want to make sure I like buy something when I'm there, but I like that. It just was a little more than I wanted to spend. We also stopped at some antique malls, and I found a little piece of Namaji. So this is sort of one of my newer collections that I've been into. I thrifted like 3 pieces of this, which I was shocked that I was able to thrift some of this, and it kind of like whet my appetite for this pottery. I just think it's so pretty. I really love orange. So the orange and browns are my favorite. So this is pretty much what I collect. There's a little iconic stamp on the bottom. They actually had quite a few pieces at this antique mall that I visited, but they were kind of, they were antique mall prices. So I paid $10 for this. I don't think I would pay that much for it if it were for resale, but I did buy it with the intention of keeping it. The next thing I picked up is just this sweet little brass box. Again, I love brass. I love things that are very detailed. I loved the filigree on it. I loved the little glass blue stone on the top. It's not anything fancy, just a piece of glass, but still just kind of ups the piece and makes it look pretty. And the inside, and I just thought this would be so pretty sitting on a stack of books with a plant. Just very simple. It was $1. So I love containers, especially in our office. I have a lot of brass containers, so this is kind of something that I would happily use and keep in our home, or I would list it and sell it if I thought somebody would want it. So dual purpose. The next thing I got is this little, I think this kind of looks like a little saddle bag or a little satchel, but it's this really pretty buttery leather. It has this really nice patina where it's kind of soft and worn in, and it just is so pretty. There's the strap, and it's cool because when I opened it, it has this retro tag, and it says Italy for Bloomingdale's. So it's kind of like a retro purse from Bloomingdale's. So I just thought it was really cool. It's probably from the 70s or early 80s, and it just really spoke to me. So I paid $10 for this, but it is real leather and it's in really nice shape. So I will sell this because I am a major purse hoarder and I have a lot of purses, but it's just so pretty. And I love when you find vintage that sort of matches today's aesthetic, where you could go to a nice Boho store and find something like this probably for $150 or $100, and this is vintage. So it just makes it cooler to me, and it's more sustainable, as we all know. The next thing I got is this little curio. So whenever I find these, I always like to pick them up. I just thought it was sweet. I'm gonna try not to blind you, but it is brass and glass and mirror, and these just do really well, and they're really cool. They're very funky. It looks really nice sitting on a shelf, and I don't know, it's just a really neat piece. So whenever I find those, I grab them. That was a little bit more pricey. It was $15, but I think it will sell, so it'll be sort of worth it. But even if it doesn't, that's okay. I'll style it up and keep it. Then I found this little book, which I do have listed. The brass curio is also listed. I do have this listed, but I took the dust jacket off and I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't listed it, but that's okay. I do love the dust jacket. I thought it would really speak to someone because it has the zodiac, which I usually associate with the 70s, but this book was actually originally written in the 40s, and this version is from 53. So it's not super new and it's not from the 70s, but it's really neat. But when you take the dust jacket off, it's just this really nice, pretty green. So I do really like to decorate with these small little hardback green books. And this one's cool because it's all about gardening. So for the most part, I look for like plant, birds, and animals. Those are the three that I like to look for when I'm looking for vintage hardbacks. And then the pictures in here are really cool. They're all these little like elves, and they are just sort of gardening. So throughout is all these funny little hand drawings of these silly little elves. And they are really just so charming. Look at that. Right? Isn't that so cute? So that was a really sweet find. I think I only paid $1 for it. I don't always look at the books because sometimes it can be really time consuming if you don't have time. But when I am able to find something sweet like that, it's very exciting. The next thing my husband actually found when we were thrifting, it's this really neat throw pillow. So it's all embroidered and it just has this really funky sort of mid-century, I guess, pattern you could say, even though it's an embroidery, and it has a bunny and llamas on it, and I'm just obsessed. It's from Peru, and it's nice because it has a zipper so you can take the interior pillow out if you would like to so that you can wash it, and that's always good when you're thrifting pillows. But look at the pattern on that, guys. Like, come on. Like, that is so eclectic and beautiful and just awesomeness. So I am going to keep this for a while. This is not listed, but so cute. Love it so, so much. Okay, the next thing is I actually have a set. I believe I have 6 of these. I'm not 100% sure. Of these vintage rocks glasses. And they actually, they look like they could be current because of the topic, like the subject matter. Everybody is so into houseplants right now. Look how stinking cute. It's little cacti and little houseplants, and they're in these little pots and little macrame plant hangers. Like, amazing. These are so hard to let go. These have been sitting. I haven't listed them yet because they just speak to me, but I have so much glassware. I'm like, I really don't have a spot for them. So I am gonna let them go, but look at that. I mean, boho haul perfection, and they're vintage. Just everything is good about that. So happy to find those guys. All right. The next thing is actually these snakes. Oh, they're so cold. I'm wearing shorts and I just put them on my legs and I was like, freezing. Okay, so they're brass cobras, and look at the filigree on those guys. I mean, they are just divine. They're really big and they're a really cool pair. So they are very similar, but they're not exactly the same, which I like. So they're kind of like siblings, but not twins. They were a little bit more pricey. They were $30, and then they had kind of one of those Wheel of Fortune where you get to spin the wheel and get a discount. So I got 20% off, so they ended up being like 24 bucks. But yeah, so they were kind of pricey. I did list them on Etsy, and I didn't think that they would sell like right away. I thought I was gonna get some time to enjoy them because I didn't have them up on Etsy for like super cheap, but they sold like right away. So they're getting packed up tonight. I'm kind of bummed about it, but I'm also happy. Like, I'm the dodo that listed them, so now I have to let them go to their new home. But they're really cool and definitely boho perfection as far as thrift hauls go and are concerned. The next thing is this little basket, and I don't pick up too many baskets unless I never really know which ones to buy for resale. So I only buy them unless I really need them or want them for myself. But this guy just sort of spoke to me because I've never seen one like this. So I liked its big shape. It's nice and big for storage, and I loved this little cutout of this cute little lizard on the front. And I thought it was useful because you can see it has a pretty decent lip. So if you were wanting to do a basket installation on your wall, this would be super easy to hang because of the lip that's on the inside. So you could literally use this for storage and put some cute fruit or something in it, and then hang this on your wall, and it's kind of like a 2-for-1. So it does have a little bit of damage on the lid. Yeah, right here. You can kind of see where it's starting to unravel a little bit, but if you had it hanging on your wall, you would never be able to see that, so it really wouldn't matter. Cute, and definitely sort of fits our boho theme we've got going on over here. All right, so the next thing is this awesome bag. So this is like the Green Market tote bag of perfection, or beach bag too even. So it's really neat because it's this beautiful woven pattern, very unique, and all these wonderful autumnal tones. But what I love about it is it has this soft buttery leather on the top. So one, it sort of protects the weave of the basket and makes sure that it stays kind of nice and safe. But I also really like it because it protects your arms too when you're carrying your basket. So like the skin on your underarms doesn't get all scratched up from the basket. And then the handles are a nice strong leather, and they're nice and long. And it's, as you can see, it's a really big size, so it can hold a bunch of stuff. And as if that's not like enough reasons to love it, it has all these little carved animals. So it has a little leopard, it has a zebra, it has a rhino, his leg, he's missing a leg though. And it has a hippo, I think. Yeah, hippo. So I bought this to resell, and then I used it like all weekend and carried it everywhere because it's so good. You just, as a thrifter too, like you can just throw everything in here. It's so great. But I think I will list it if someone's interested in it. It was a little more pricey. I paid 20 bucks for it, but I just thought it was really unique and pretty. And I figured if I love it, hopefully someone else will love it as well. All right, so now I have some pictures back here behind me. Try to show you without knocking everything down. So this guy is like boho perfection. I mean, come on. Leopard with this awesome big leaf. Like everybody loves houseplants right now. And then he's framed in a bamboo frame, like a fake bamboo frame. Like just, and he's so big. It's just everything. So my house is definitely like eclectic boho, but I veer more towards like forest animals, so he won't really fit with my decor, unfortunately, because he's super rad and I want to just hoard him so badly. So I did list him, but like look at him, guys. Like look at the goodness of this leopard. Oh, he's just so great. I love him with all my heart. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna show you, I've been dreading because they're so heavy. I'm like, not gonna pick those guys up, but yep, here I am picking them up. Oh gosh. And they have lids, so that's like even scarier because I know I'm like afraid that the lid's gonna come off. And they're so cold. All right, so I don't know if the brass pineapple like craze is over. I know for like a few years there, it was like if you could find vintage brass pineapples, like they were gonna sell for a boatload. And I think that craze has died down a little bit, but you guys, like first of all, look how big they are. They're still shiny, have this beautiful patina, and they're just so pretty, like awesome. And they're so heavy, like they're definitely vintage, because they're great quality. They're not like light and puny. And I got them for $5 each. Like such a good deal. I'm super excited. They can hold a candle and then you put stuff inside. So I haven't actually opened them, but yeah, they're in really good shape on the inside. So sorry, making all kinds of noise over here, but yeah, they're so rad. I'm so excited about them. I'm gonna have to find them like a cool home in our house until they sell, because they are really, really neat. All right, so starting to slow down a little bit. I did want to show you a couple little pieces of jewelry. I don't know if anyone's interested in vintage jewelry, but I do like to pick things up here and there. I collect these mid-century flowers. I put them all on little throw pillow. So I got that guy. He was pretty cute. I paid $3 for him. And then I thrifted this guy. So hopefully it will, ooh, failing over here. Hopefully you can see. It's a little bird. He's Native American. I would say maybe Hopi. It's a little bit hard to tell. Maybe Zuni. It's a little hard to tell, but he is sterling, and I just thought he was really cool. And I don't know if anyone's interested in like thrift tips, but I feel like sometimes I have to remind myself of these thrift tips because I forget this stuff myself. So they had a bunch of cool sterling jewelry, and I had them pull a lot of things out from one side of the case, and I'm looking at everything and I'm hemming and hawing because they want like 20 bucks and I don't want to pay 20 bucks. So I'm like, it's like so hard when you find something you want at a thrift store, but it's overpriced and you're just like, I want this, but it's not worth this. If I saw this at an antique mall, would I buy it for this price? Probably not. I just like sometimes get so scammed by like the idea of thrifting where like, oh, everything's cheap, but like not always. So anyway, long story short, I had them put everything back on the expensive side, and I noticed this right before I was walking out, and I was like, oh, can I see that? Well, this guy was $8 and he's sterling. So I think one of the biggest takeaways is there's really no rhyme or reason on how thrift stores price things. And it can be great and it can be infuriating. So whatever they deem valuable is what they are going to price high. So don't give up. Just keep asking, keep looking at the prices, because you might find one that kind of slipped through the cracks. And also, if you find something overpriced and it's awesome and you let it go, it's okay, because next week you'll find something awesome that's not overpriced. And I have to remind myself of that because I get really bad FOMO where I like have really bad fear of missing out. And I'm like, oh, should I buy it? I'm never going to see it again. But if something's super, super overpriced at a thrift store, it's not meant to be. That's just my soapbox for today. Yes. And then I show you something that we overpaid for at a thrift store, but that's okay. So this guy is really cute. He's a little Zuni spider, and I know people are probably like, snakes and bugs, that's a weird haul, but he's just really cool. I have a couple others. I have a I have a butterfly and a dragonfly. So I saw this guy, I was thrifting with my husband, and he was really nice. He bought him for me. He was definitely on the pricey side. He was, I think, 40 bucks. He's all sterling silver and inlaid stones, but he's just really cool. Maybe 30, I don't know, but like still overpriced, but also still super awesome. So I will insert a picture here. Of my other two guys, so you can kind of see the three of them together. They're pretty cute. Okay, so all of that to get to the dish that they were sitting in. So I found this little Moriage Japanese, he's Nippon, I believe, divided dish, and I really liked it. I don't think it would be food safe, but it's the perfect size for a vanity because it's not super huge and it's divided, which is super rad because you can put like earrings in one and bracelets in one and just sort of mix and match however you want. And it divides and keeps everything pretty, and it's still this really nice green. So even if you had like all your stuff was covering the pretty flowers, like it still is just a very nice little dish all by itself. So I have this listed, but I've been using it myself and enjoying it until it goes to its forever home. But it's cool, guys. This is cool. And it's definitely older. It's a little hard to see. Can you see? Yeah, it's super hard. You can see the marking right there is very faded. So it's an older piece for sure. And I didn't pay much for this. I think I paid like $4 for it, maybe $3, something like that. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I bought it at a really inexpensive thrift store and they were doing 50% off everything. So I know I got it for a really good deal. The next thing is something really cool. So it's this tiger's eye box. It is actually made from real tiger's eye stones. You can see that it's all these big chunks of stones that have been put together to sort of patchwork, make a little patchwork box over here. The lid comes off. So to me, this is like an amazing coffee table box. It looks really nice. I've actually been using it until it finds its forever home. So I have it on a nice big stack of books, and then inside it's really useful because you can put, if you have candles and stuff, you could put like incense or lighters, whatever. Oh, remote controls, if you have a small remote control, fits in here too. So just useful and really pretty, and all real stones. So this one I do have it listed for kind of a lot because it's actually like real tiger's eye, and I did a lot of research on these and they are going for quite a bit. And I paid $9 for it, so good deal. It is listed on Etsy, but I think I'll probably be living with him for a little while because he's definitely one of the more expensive pieces in our shop right now. Okay, the next thing is this awesome Mexican blanket. So it's quite big. It's a little bit hard to see, but this is like my tones. Like, I love this. I love the taupe. It looks kind of gray, but it's actually like a light taupe. Mixed with the orange tones, like the light orange and the dark orange and the white. So really beautiful. I need to have it dry cleaned, so it's just living in the back of my car right now until I get around to getting it dry cleaned. But it's really a stunner, and I've not seen one with these pretty oranges. Usually I see like reds and blues, which are still pretty, but like oranges, I love autumnal colors. Like, I love mustard yellow, I like maroon, I obviously love like that burnt orange. So that made me very happy. Okay. All right, the next thing is this little oil painting. So I do not love shipping out art. It is so hard to make a box, but I found this for a really great deal. It was only $5, so I felt like it was worth it. And I loved the moody sort of dark tones, and I loved the subject matter. So I loved this little like oriental sailboat and the mountain. And I also really like the frame too. I feel like the brown and green is current enough that you could kind of keep this frame and you wouldn't need to repaint it. So I did pick that up, and like I said, it was only $5, so good deal. I have not listed this on Etsy yet, but it will be listed on Etsy. So thought that was pretty. All right, guys, just a couple more things. The next thing is this Nito lamp. So it's a rattan lamp. It's a swag lamp, so it has the little plug where you can plug it in, and it has a little switch right here. And my favorite part is it actually has the insert, like this round light cover. It's just so pretty. I love that. It looks so pretty when it's on too. It just glows so nice. And rattan's just really one of those things this is vintage. It's from the 70s, but it's so current now. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I'll probably list it, but I don't know. There's a really big part of me that wants to keep it because I just think it's really cool. And I paid $10 for it. All right, guys, only one. I'm kind of looking around, making sure I got everything, but I think I just have one more thing to show you. And it's this rug. So I got this really cool oriental rug. It's just very nice, muted, sort of classic tones. But I really liked the navy blue in it, mixed with sort of this dusty rose. And I just thought it was pretty. So we're gonna use it in our bathroom. It has these tassels on the edge that Cabbage finds really delicious. So we have to put it somewhere where she can't eat it because she's already been munching on it all week. So bunnies, right? What can you do? Can't live with them, can't live without them. All right, guys, well, that is it. We made it through this mega haul. If you made it through the entire thing, I give you so much kudos. Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you liked our video, if you like any of our videos, it would be awesome if you could like and subscribe. So thanks guys, have a good one.